I've just arrived at my Yateley lakes. I'm here for a free-nighter. I've decided to come into a swim called Moorings and not spending any time at the bottom feeding. I would be happy with a 26 or up, I think. No, can't believe this. Checking it again. When I arrived, it was so warm, it was nice and sunny, and it was great. And yeah, then the temperature just plummeted. I feel like I need to get one decent one at the end. That's my last session, by the way.
Carp haven't been quiet because they've been jumping.
Oh, have they been jumping? Not much has happened again. It's been another quiet and actually quite cold night. Good morning. It's a really good morning. It's gonna be emotional. I can't believe it. That's a joke. Just arrived at my Yateley lakes. I'm here for a free-nighter. I do think it's going to be tricky though, even though last time I did get 2 in freezing cold conditions. I do think it's going to be quite hard. I've decided to come out of my usual swim and try somewhere else. So I'm going to go and find a swim and hopefully we'll catch something. Hopefully a decent one, it'd be nice. This is actually going to be my last session here, so I want to give it my all and hopefully try and catch something decent. So let's go. Well, after a little walking around and trying to figure out where I was going to go, I finally settled on Moorings. It is a swim I've fished before. It's somewhere that I have had the odd bite, but nothing truly amazing, I would say. The last time I came in here, I did a free-nighter and blanked. So, yeah, that did happen. But I do think it's promising. While I was setting my bivvy up, I did see something splash to the tree line to my left, which is really promising, really. Something is around here. Nothing else, no other signs at all. So really I picked it on just what would be the best swim, apart from the swim that I keep going into. And I think this one will be it. I did actually want to go into the opposite swim. It's the one I started when I restarted back here, which was called Boilies. I was hoping to get in there. It is free, but it's so much mud trying to go around there, it's unbelievable. There's also a lot of routes across the pathways up there as well, which it's always tricky to get around there, and the mud's just going to make it 5 times more harder. It's so muddy around there, it's unbelievable. So I've decided not to go around there, and this is still a swim that I've got confidence in. I know the spots as well. So first of all, I have pot one to my left in the tree line. There's like all these trees collapse into the water and they're sort of leaning as well. It used to be a lot different. There used to be a lot more canopy of trees. Some of them did collapse, and also I think they've ripped out a load of them as well, so it's not exactly the same as it used to be. But I do think that it will do a bite. I've gone out a little bit more further than we used to in this swim. Everyone used to fish right close to the margin, but I've come out a bit more further just to try and get away from a lot of the trees have sort of collapsed into the water, and I just don't feel like I'm going to lose a fish if I hook one. But I did find a firm spot, and that's where I put the rig. And then the next one is the island in front of me. There's sort of an island to the sort of side, it's sort of sidewards on from you. There's a tree that sort of sticks out a little bit. You can sort of see it sticking out, and below that is a lovely gravel spot. You got to fish about 2 or 3 foot away from the island. If you get too close, it gets really, really shallow. So I've come back a little bit on a spot that I know. The spot is still glowing with gravel and it still looks promising, so I'm still happy with that spot. It has done a bite previously for me. I think I caught a ghost carp off that, and then yeah, then I caught it again in the autumn last year. That ghost carp that I had at 28 £, I've actually caught it before from this particular swim. Then it was like 23.5 and now it's 28, so yeah. Bit weird that I'm in the swim that I originally caught it from. I might catch it again. But no, I'm happy with that spot completely. And then the last rod, which is towards the island to the right. The island actually sticks out and there's a tree on the end of it, and there's a slope that sort of goes down. It's really shallow as you get closer to the tree, sort of like a gravel slope. There's a lot of silt on it now. There used to be a quite clear gravel, but I think it's quite a lot of silt on it. Basically at the bottom of that, it's a couple of feet deep there. Every spot I've picked is a couple of feet. I didn't want to go too deep and I don't want to go too shallow at the moment. I think they're going to be up in the shallows a little bit more. Plus the bailiff did tell me that the water is about 11.5 degrees. So I do think that they're going to get to slightly more shallow water. 3 or 4 foot would be ideal, as that's what I've sort of chose. All of the rods are on Ronnie rigs on helicopter setups. 2 are on the same as I did before, which was the Fluoro 15mm pink ocean fruit pop-ups. So again, I said 2 are on that. The one to the right to the island that sort of sticks out, and the margin one are both that. Now the one on the island, that's got something different on. I've decided to put something on there I've literally just been handed as well, which is some purple wafters. These are flavoured in plum. They're meant to be part of the ocean fruit range, maybe going ahead. At the moment, they're on just sort of test at the moment, just see what they're like and see what happens really. We're not entirely sure, but purple is a good colour, and so far they have done bites. Not for me, but other people, so I'm definitely gonna play around with that on this session. Pink and purple is my favourite colours this time of year still, even though we're just into spring. I still think that brighter colours are gonna get me more bites. And also feeding over the top, I've got 15mm ocean fruits, and I've also got some 15mm, the new bait, which is called the spice corn. I have got that in there as well. 50-50 mix. The spice corn is so pungent that it pumps all the sort of flavours into the water. So I'm soaking them in water, and this time I'm not adding any flavour whatsoever. The spice corn is basically flavouring them for me, which is really good. They're all going to smell the same and they're going to stink. It is a spiced corn, good mixture. It's yellow as well, so it does stand out quite a bit as well, and I do think that that might get me a few extra bites. Something that I've been waiting to use here, and I'm finally going to get a chance to use it, and I think it will do alright. Like I said, I'm soaking them in water just to make them a bit more softer, and so they wouldn't soak up any of the silt. There's a lot of silt on the bottom on these lakes. Literally the only spot that I could find clear gravel was on the island. To start with, I put about 40 boilies over each rod, but I will top them up by a handful each, so it's around about 60 baits per rod. That's really my average in here. That's what I like to do. I think I like to keep it light on the bait and just see what happens. It worked last time and it's going to work this time. Even though the sun's out and it's a lot warmer, about 15 degrees today, it's sunny, looks really good. The water temperature is still rising very slowly. And I think those brighter hook baits and just a few boilies over the top is going to get me bites on this session. So yeah, I'll see what happens. I'll give you an update in the evening, maybe just before it gets dark. I've got a spider on me. I'll just do it again. I will give you a quick update in the evening, maybe about an hour before it gets dark, just to let you know what's been happening and what I've seen really. If I've seen anything at all. I've seen one. We'll see. I'm going to give it some time and hopefully something happens. Well, it's been a couple of hours. When I arrived, it was so warm, comfortable, and it actually got warmer as well. It was nice and sunny, and it was great. And yeah, then the temperature just plummeted, and now it's feeling a little bit chilly. And yeah, nothing's really happened on the fishing front. I have actually seen a carp. Actually almost wiped me out. That was really good. Yeah, I had a couple of indications, and then suddenly out of nowhere my line was moving. I thought, what's going on? Have I got a bite? No, it was a carp. Good, decent one, upper 20, maybe even a 30 pounder, with decent size. About 12 foot out from my rod tips, and it just somehow managed to grab the line and pull it round the side a little bit. It eventually pinged off, and so I'm carried on swimming. And also went past the tree spot as well, so it might come back. It definitely shows they're definitely moving, they're out and about. You know, that one was about, I don't know, foot or 2 foot down, so yeah, promising. They're definitely trying to warm themselves up. Maybe I'll get a bite tonight, and maybe early morning probably be the best chance really. This swim is more of an early morning spot, so it's probably more likely to be that. Nothing else to say, nothing really else is going on. I'm just going to hope that I get something this evening, and I'm just hoping that I'll get a bite sometime early morning, which will be a result, wouldn't it? If I need to make any changes on baits or in spots, I'll do it tomorrow. But for now, I'm happy where I am and happy with what I'm doing, so I'm just going to hope that something happens. We'll see anyway. Well, I'm afraid nothing happened last night, apart from I thought I had a take, picked up the rod, and then quickly realised that a fish had gone through my line in close and dragged it round the corner a little bit, and it was all tight and it felt like it had a fish on sort of for like 1 second, and then there was nothing on it, and then yeah, then I realised that it must have caught on a fish. It does happen quite a lot in this swim. Just because there's a bit of a drop off, sort of about, I don't know, 18 foot out. There's a drop off, so it goes from like 4 foot all the way down to 6 to 8, and then it continues getting deeper all the way to the middle. Basically, it's like a big old deep channel out there, and it goes down to like 12 foot in the middle. And yeah, so sometimes when your line is basically going across and then down, and then it's coming back up towards either the island or something like that, it's pretty much your line's pretty much bowing over the deep water, and they do tend to go through it a few times. It does happen, but it's not too much of a worry. I had to recast it though, because I picked it up and thought it was a fish on it. There was nothing on it. Yeah, apart from that, nothing else has happened. Been pretty quiet. I haven't had any more indications, but the carp haven't been quiet because they've been jumping. Oh, have they been jumping? Yeah, I literally said to you that I had one jump out when I turned up, and then I started seeing more and more signs as it went dark as well. I saw them jumping and splashing around in both sets of sort of tree lines to my right and my left. Yeah, and there was plenty of them on the sort of open water area as well. Over the deeper water, actually, it's like 14 foot, some of it over there, and they were leaping like crazy last night and this morning out there. It's basically in the bowl of the deeper section to my left, and they have been jumping out sort of just behind the tree, sort of hangs into the water, literally on the other side of where I'm fishing. So yeah, I knew that it would be there, but I thought they'd come through and I thought I'd get a bite, but so far nothing. I have actually brought all the rods in and just recast them, just to check on the hook baits, and hopefully I didn't have any tangles or anything. I didn't have any tangles, but it's just one of them paranoia things that maybe your rig is not sitting quite right, maybe it's sitting on a twig or whatever. So give them a recast, and I'm just going to give it a couple of hours, see what happens. Hopefully it pays off, because sometimes recasting a fresh hook bait and getting it in a slightly different position can produce a bite, but not always. I am quite hopeful to get a bite. I really thought this one was going to be the one, really. I thought this was going to be a good area to target, especially as the swim that I know and always fish
called Stables. Literally, I've caught all my carp this year from it near enough. I had one from my another swim and that is it. I just thought coming in here might produce something, and I've seen plenty of carp, so why not get something, you know, why not have something quick, in the first 24 hours that is. But yeah, it's been not as good as I was hoping. I thought I would get something on the first night, but oh well. I don't know what to do at the moment. Either the other swim that I normally fish, which is Stables, comes free and I jump in there, or I stay in here for another night. I still need to make a choice really with that. I need to figure out what I'm going to do. But for now, I'm just going to give it a couple of hours, see what happens, and then probably make my choice what I'm going to do. Either stay or move to a swim that I know very well and should get me a bite. Not much has happened at all, apart from I had a carp bump into my line. The one in the margin pretty much just bumped into the line. So they're not really doing much today. They're sort of spending most of their time warming themselves up or getting rid of leeches and all sorts of bits. So yeah, at the moment they're not doing much of the feeding. They're doing more of the sort of swimming around and warming themselves up, and yeah, I'm just hoping that they will feed at some stage. I'm hoping it's going to be tomorrow, because it's maybe a lot colder tonight, so that might sort of kick them down a little bit, because I think all the warmer temperatures we've had the last couple of days is sort of pushed them up in the layers to warm themselves up, and they're not spending any time at the bottom feeding. So I'm just hoping that the weather change might make a difference and I might get one. It's going to be hard, I think, still. You know, I've made the decision to stay and wait it out, and hopefully something happens in this swim. If I don't get anything by tomorrow morning, then I possibly might move, but it's meant to be very busy this weekend. There's a lot of people on, so I'm not entirely sure if I will be able to move. I will try if there is available space, and if it's a swim that I think that's good and worth a try for the last night, then I will do it. But otherwise, I'm just going to stick it out, hoping that something's going to happen. I've got a couple of hours until it gets dark, so you never know, something might just quickly happen. If not, morning, there might be a little window opportunity to try and get one, but we'll see.
Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets
Not much has happened again. It's been another quiet and actually quite cold night, and yeah, pretty miserable really. I've kind of made a decision to stay in this swim. I've seen plenty of carp, boshing, rolling, everything. They are all over me like a rash, but I can't get a bite. And apparently it's been happening for a little while. Apparently last week they were doing the same thing, boshing, rolling all over the place, all over the rigs, and nothing happened. They're not really doing any feeding in the moment, so I think my best chance of getting a bite is just to keep at it really, keep on the same sort of areas, I have made one little change though. The one in the margin, I've decided to put out more sort of closer to the edge of the tree. It's in slightly deeper water, which is not ideal, but I think that might do me a bite now. Now that I've been in this swim long enough and I've seen quite a few showing in that little area, maybe just slightly around the corner from where I'm fishing, but in that sort of same line. And also I've had them swimming from basically from my right all the way down and bumping into my lines and then continuing on that same line. So now I'm thinking if I get one on that line, okay, it's deeper there. It's about, I don't know, 6 foot, I'd say. It's slightly deeper. It's not exactly where you want to be. You want to be in like 2 or 3 foot now, because they're going to be warming themselves out. They're going to come in on the shallows, but they're coming up in the water definitely. But they're about, I don't know, 2 foot down most of the time. When the sun comes out, they're about there, and I think they do drop a little bit more. And I'm thinking that the colder temperatures might get them to drop a little bit more than that. We are in for a sort of 9-degree day today with rain. At the moment it's quite sunny, but apparently it's maybe chucking it down all day, the rest of the day, so I think it might draw them down. So I'm hoping that makes something happen. Hook baits, I'm not really going to change much at the moment. Apart from the one on the island, I think I'm going to change to a spiced corn 15mm wafter on that to match the bait that I've been feeding in. Don't know, it's worth a try. It's yellow as well, so it does stand out. Yellow is a great little spring tactic as well, so I'm thinking it's quite clean down there. I just think it's better off with a wafter on that area. I mean, I've been fishing the purple wafters and they've been coming back absolutely fine. So I'm going to change it up, try something a bit different on that. Like I said, on a margin when I've come out a little bit further, maybe these changes might make a difference. You never really know. I'm keeping the bait going in. I haven't put huge amounts of bait in. Midday today, I think I'm going to put in a handful on each spot, about 20 boilies or something, just to try and see if anything happens on that. If not, I'll add more bait in maybe before it gets dark. I'm just going to slowly add the bait. I'm not going to go crazy on it. I haven't been going crazy since the beginning. It's spring, they're not looking for huge amounts of food, so I'm just trickling in bits just to keep the flavours going in and the scent, and hopefully keep doing that and making these little changes. Let's see if they make a difference. I'm going to keep going. I'll keep trying. I'm more happy now that I've seen plenty of carp showing and rolling every night. There's been less last night, but they're still around. They're still here. I do think that they've been all over me and nothing's happened, and I just know that. And there's no point in me moving anywhere. If I move somewhere else, okay, there might be carp there as well, but the other thing is, I'm going to have the same situation where there's carp there and I can't catch. There's no point in me going and moving to my favourite swim just because I can. And it may do a bite, it may not. I don't know. If I can't catch a carp here where there's plenty of carp, how am I going to catch it somewhere else? So I think I'm just going to stick at it. I'm just hoping that maybe my changes or the change in temperature might just get them to go down and feed. But the warmer temperatures seem to have done the opposite effect. They seem to be preoccupied and warming themselves up and not actually doing any feeding. You think that'd be the opposite way, but it's not. For some reason that's what's happening. This has happened in the past. Usually it happens like the first sort of 2 weeks of April they do this. But okay, in the moment it's not much happening. I'm going to keep going and hopefully something happens. And if not, I've had a decent year here, so I'm still happy with what I've caught. Good morning. It is a really good morning. Started off with a 23 pounder. On the little change that I made on the island, that quick change, changing to a spiced corn wafter, it's done the business. Before I got to sort this fish out, I've recast the rod and guess what? It's gone again. I cannot believe this. And I've got an old friend as well, which is really odd. Can't wait to get him out. Right, I'm gonna get this one back and show the other one. It's even bigger. Well, check out that. This is an old friend. I've already caught this one at 28 pound. I've just weighed it. It's just over 29. So close to the 30 as well. Can't believe this. Again on the spiced corn wafter on the island. I can't believe this. This is really good. I'm really happy with this. Can't believe it. What a carp to end my fishing here. This is my last session here as well, so this is a great ending for me. So all I gotta say is thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. There's one thing I forgot to mention. This is a PB. My biggest carp I've ever caught. I thought I was close to 30. I wasn't that far off. Can't believe it. Let's get him back.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check out all my other videos. And also don't forget to put a comment.